You see that Sparking Zero has a confirmed roster of 164 characters. Are you pulling my leg? 164 characters is an absolutely absurd amount. There's a prime cash and 3 sub hand swell. There's no way. I'm looking that shit up right now. I'm gonna fact check you. I don't see anything about that. I see the first 24 characters of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Oh, I see Rhymestyle made a video. 164 characters at launch. I see there's a... Oh, it's going by the trailer we watched because of the... Oh. At the end of the trailer, they had this. So I guess someone went through and counted how many of these there are. There's no way each one of those is going to have, like, unique moves, right? There's going to be so many clones. So many Echo Fighters, right? There'd have to be. They aren't. It's going to be mainly Echoes. Yeah, with a roster that size, it would 100% have to be. I'm not sure, Raider. I get asked that a lot. I don't know what my favorite bad game night is. Bad game night game is. Usually say like Agent Roswell or something, but I'm not entirely sure. Humans Connect is out? What is Humans Connect? Oh, this is the game that I played a while back. The first 24 characters are confirmed to be just Vegeta and Goku variations. I'm fine with that if there are different movesets for each one. But I don't think there will be. Hey, happy birthday, Moxie. Would you make pro teams for other games like Rainbow Six, Overwatch, etc.? We have a lot of teams in other games. Rainbow Six, eventually, maybe. I've always liked Rainbow Six Siege. I've talked about that a lot. Overwatch is actually interesting that you bring up. So Overwatch, like the Owl, their esports scene was a scam. $20 million just to buy in to be a franchise in their league. It was actual garbage. But now they just changed it where it's open. I might just want to make my own team, like me and the boys try and compete. We wouldn't get very far, but yeah, since now it's open, might as well. I can main tank. Yeah, it sounds good tanking. I'll do I don't know who I'd play. I'm actually trashing everyone that's not Reaper, so I guess I'd just be a Reaper main. Reaper and Junkrat, two easiest characters, really. They're on halftime. So they're switching maps, and then we play 3 more. As someone who plays Overwatch, it has to be the worst esport to spectate. That's what I said, man. I tried watching their most recent championship game. I fucking hated it. I absolutely fucking hated it. It is just not a fun esport. I did not see the new Demon Slayer trailer. Yeah, I'll see the new Beetlejuice. Why did you hate it? It was just kind of the same thing every single time. Usually team pushes together, initiates a fight, or farms for alts, dump alts, rinse and repeat. It's kind of like if you've ever been to a metal concert, you know the Wall of Death? Where they separate the two halves of like the mosh pit and they say, alright, on the count of 3, charge each other, go! And then it's just like chaos for a second and then they separate again. That's like Overwatch League. It's just really boring to watch. Like there's very rarely any picks. There's not a whole lot of individual skill expression except for whoever played on Florida, playing the Genji. He was actually kind of cracked. Like he was actually making some good solo plays, but other than that it's mainly just shoot at the wall of meat and then dump ults at each other. Would you consider asking Jinxie to join the Rainbow Six Moist team? Brother, he's with Space Station. He wouldn't even legally be allowed to. That'd be cool, though, I guess. Yeah, but he couldn't. He'd more likely be like a sub for Space Station. The newest solo leveling episode goes hard. Haven't seen the newest one yet. How long until more games? Let's see. It's usually like a 20-minute break. 20-ish minutes. They don't have a counter. They're still doing like the post-game stuff. But it's usually like a 20-minute break. Did you see Florida is trying to raise the age to use social media to 16? Is that real? I saw that headline float around a lot. Oh, interesting. Florida advances law banning children under 16 from using social media. Finally, some good news. I think that's a great idea. Measure prohibits anyone under 16 from creating a new social media account and requires platforms to delete existing accounts held by minors who are younger than 16. It would require social media companies to delete any personal information from the accounts and for platforms that use non-governmental, independent, third-party, not affiliated with social media platform to verify a user's age. Huh. No, think about the groomers. Damn! What are the Roblox devs supposed to do now? Actually, it wouldn't affect Roblox, would it? Because that's not technically social media. That's just more of like a gaming thing. Thanks to the Prime. Bantugan. Can't people just lie about their age? There's a million ways of getting around it. Yeah, 100%. I don't think it's going to stop the kids from being on, like, Twitter or Facebook or whatever. Well, kids aren't on Facebook. Let's not even joke around about that. No one's on Facebook except, like, actual geriatrics. But it's not going to stop them from being on social media. Thanks for some newbie. I hope it's good buff. I don't know anything about it. They haven't shown anything. These dopamine hits from social media are so addictive, it's like a digital fentanyl. And even the most plugged-in parent or attuned teen has a hard time shutting the door against these addictive features. They're going for, like, the addiction route. It's an interesting strategy. I mean, it's not, like, wrong per se, but I think the stronger position would have been about how brutal it is to have access to social media. It's just a perpetual swarm of negativity. And absolutely ruining people. TikTok doesn't kill you in small doses. Not yet. Give it more time, though. Are you okay with being forced to provide legal ID online? That's what's proposed by the governor. No, I've always said I hate that kind of shit. There's probably got to be a more effective way of doing it. But I've always said having to provide like all kinds of ID in order to access shit I've never been a fan of. But I like the sentiment behind not letting kids on social media. I've said that a lot. The internet's very different now than when I was a kid. It's a totally different landscape. I think it is just downright detrimental and dangerous for kids to have unfiltered access to like Twitter and just the most degenerate places on the planet. I don't know how you'd enforce it. I just like the sentiment. But yeah, I don't like having to give your government ID to the ISPs and all that shit. I'm not a fan. I just like the sentiment. You used social media when you were 14? Yeah, I think MySpace came out when I was 15 or so. Ish. Somewhere in that ballpark. I can't quite recall now. But you have to remember, like, the entire culture has shifted. When I was growing up, the number one thing was never share any real information about yourself online. Nowadays, if you don't share anything about yourself online, you're viewed as a weirdo and must have something to hide. So like the entire way that people approach social media is totally different.